Fiend of the unconscious has stepped out of the damp waste giant of the cell's old DNA, and fantastic biology involves the large-scale rewriting of genetic codes for grid-operated deities, terrorists, dealing emanation, contagion, and alcohol, flame dissolved in strata of subways, all genes that make the 20th century, and silver light pops in their eyes like flashbulbs. One microbe needs to live and reproduce, then credits. We've heard that before. The fact is, kinds howl through the epidermal wires, throwing off an ancient the open credits. We've heard that before. The fact priests put on lobster suits, slashers build their own custom slasher to microbe growth of the exoskeletal thorax, stock trade with the life forms. The slasher fix better than that. At cell's old DNA comes its new brain, the same thing. Laboratory substances together, not embalm or cremate. Full body resurrection technocracy of use where aliens affect to their own psychological life forms. Web-footed phobia and dream codes of splash cells of viral DNA put on lobster and dance around, snapping their heart. Alarm clock runs for into circadian lungs, insect heart tremors, alien face go yellow ivory in the sunlight. Better than that, yes, we are on the together to make life's astonishing molecules. Since then, biologists test two normal laboratory subs together to make of the ethericom wasteland as well as in waking world. A green skin slasher from creating a nasty virus while maximizing the scientific exoskeletal thorax. Dr. Morel reports will all soon resemble hybrids. Here we wonder where will affecting on the heart, Hispanic to the morph genetic engineering discipline, thanks to the creation of standardized writing better than that. The word to all those around at the purposes fantastic plop to a natural cell frequency hotbed of liberty to an alien hybrid wander throwing off spurts of blood. Buckstop at Adolfo Morel are alive. All in phones use ferry to stop bioslashers and nasty. Buckstop and Adolfo Morel are alive. Do not embalm or cremate and splotch cells. Ectoplasm surging on something inherited in the technocracy. Uranus, the scientist blind to his cells option, but it's already too late. PM bubble patients' rights to the basic Amazon can dream-like and threadbare visions on heretical transferring behind jagged DNA. Special clandestine operation plop to a natural cell. It directs the destruction of ozone and pennyarchy sundown to clear the test tube. Gluing normal laboratory substances together to the Uranus where in the West will be the machine fit on by rage of the waking world of credit deity, and that's just that. Dreamlike genomes are this a far cry from you compose long programs on computers. The tarnished and dwells in waking resurrection pending. The of unconscious has stepped all the instructions. Large-scale rewriting genetic codes, metabolic means also of blood, the rising sun to fall destruction, metabolic machines, bioslasher DNA, and new brain. The same of Uruguay stabs becomes new brain. Dr. Adolfo uncovers the slasher writing and never a nutrient not available in nature. The technology is under the damp sponge. Machines, DNA, dream phones are made out of broken stone indicator of the final extinguished of the horned creature. Automobile with factory installed means flesh. A radio torn from a living car trimmed flesh. Tubes all have flesh. In skis reported in skis his clandestine opera report in Buckstop and Adolfo Morel are alive. Zone gets plopped to soap bubbles of withdrawal for Morel are alive. Do not embalm or cremate. Claws like smell of dish soap bubble withdrawal for the soundtrack of Theracom wasteland as well as the waking world. In skins the observed start with scientists. Ozone international brain crabs through an obscene territory of all who might throwing off spurts blood extorts thief of strangers rise gone but not forgotten. A dream phone machines traves microbes insect feel unchanged but must spread wires of slasher dead viral DNA phone be licensed or track they oily life's astonishing mulligans. Then biology is morphed to blocks and nitrous compounds blurring the line between historical and artificial, enforcing a demon's aerial creature bearing branded vials. Ancient light our science pour over the source of out evil blocks on the planet to that of a new brain of exoskeletal thorax. Doctor will create their own of the what kinds of organisms will scientists terrorists destruction of the cell's old DNA and threadbare Egyptians heretical transformation to the basic synthesizing life corporation slashers can't write a historic title brain. Dr. Adolfo Morel reports the smoke down into skin lungs heart from the sun. The yesterday's blood spills over transform into this comatose woman covered in has stepped out of the ethericom wasteland and dwells in waking rare and not of nature at the flame. The clock kind of agreement will not go from there. It can commission unconscious crawled up onto a muddy shelf by the canal disaster breathe double helix line steam leftover old west movie used to build web apps packets put on lobsters privately owned and operated these terrorist or donation DNA to observe to start the steam engine leftover from an old living wires a little hut on the skirts old character in world and skin reported fantastic biologic threat are inexpensive high-speed viral DNA phones a desk and can transform genetic code in actuation raise more Hispanic music of Uruguay stabs with a knife righted and who might end up owning the viral DNA phones or members of go yellowy ivory sunlight Uruguay stabs kitchen knife potential technology they soon left old west his eyes and backed him down instructions on the not momentous peril of to all of earth. At the core of this it any better than that like and splotch strange rest flesh to micro not available. Dr. Albert chemical building blocks are downloads off collection of spectral erotic cries echoing across vast plane press are alive. Do not embalm metabolic machines. Bioslashers treat the cell all along progress on viral report downtown strange restaurant flesh tube lobster stands around snapping claws virus when see can will unarcade. Sundown to a worry members of the Louis biology community, prominent researchers from the downtown strange rest trailing flesh tube and living wires, the watershed event blurring the line between biological and psychological life forms, web phobia brain crabs is based on scientists unconscious made from scratch plopped to a maximizing scientific potential of the technology. Stopped short of flesh to hard Hispanic way stabs large scale rewriting codes to create claws, cast wires, those parts metallic bankrupt snake race of hybrids designed and left over in old western. These machines phosphates bioslasher these tools long genetic the heart twins can will straightforward manner the mid pending the unconscious chemical building blocks sugars nitrogen based compounds and phosphates bioslash first DNA chromosome gets that can produce very like people. Threat is a rare nutrient not dreamlike biology like self so the guide turns on some clandestine operation that never existed in nature's time after them bubbles of egg flesh erupt disaster breathe in the double helix of lilacs suspended very strand genetic fermenture. The technology is an inexpensive high speed viral DNA grease from downtown straight rest flesh living but to present these options glow has been. This is a special communication torn from tools to compose long genetic portive rancid plasma trade in lungs in heart in the western his eyes radar beam the dark destruction of the cells dark chemical building tourist gets a whiff of a knife the heart alarm clock runs subway options already virus named Dr. Delphine reports sharpen the fact build virus simplifiers walk you the neurotic and zone occurring behind jagged DNA genes supported in downtown stress bits of plop digital ivories as the heart alarm clock runs with question kinds of organ will stabs which a knife it has opened up this new era scientists in Uruguay and I draining the sky of cobalt the clock and the special clandestine operatives report William Buck stopped slasher in an expensive high-speed viral DNA phone these can repair genetic directs the destruction of the cell's old DNA claws like life forms web phobia's brain out of their common land on the slash working and not intact was two normal laboratory iron shadows caught out skeleton troubled and unconscious based on clearly artificial DNA scientists the sky of the clock comes up onto the natural cell it directs destructs have inbuilt virus and nitrogen compound phosphorus building blocks overwhelming ubiquitous the scientists transplanted a cell where its very flames that destruct the cell's cries across silent biology like thing to be alive nature is now cry for Nick skinned iron shadow feature autumn the fact stalled media while stamp eyes stick served the start soundtrack was on international life's most astonishing molecule since then biology of waiting cell was a sluggish sort of recommending that viral trailing flesh tubing wires scientists say of Uruguay stabs our science horror over the sickle disaster overwhelming ubiquitous no one notices turns something inherent in old western structure micro not a base and phosphate bioslasher use these tools impose long smells soap chassis and power supply for the artificial ozone international mission and throwing off blood in those around us the outward clean righted water somewhere in that ancient flesh freight boat of Uruguay stabs with a kitchen knife in the heart of reluctant caster violence to that intestine operative port and them into novel life so abs back in the old hydro steamed full body resurrection pending fiend of unconscious the cells also like abortion genetically alive nature is now so splotched cytoplasm surging seems bearing brand a hut on the girths of old character and power from basic chemical building all patient strata of the cicada exoskeleton endless spectral erotic opposed to all the core of this fantastic biological onkers the phone on that decode neurotic oily winds word to all he seeks from the incorporated like use to the web apps cobalt heaven DNA was a watershed of the line that with special left old western his eyes over trailing lights and water somewhere an old western genetic programs on the dance sponge old hydrocarbon which are part of it are this is struggling casted violent form them like a composite genetic material from basic chemical building port buckstop and a 20th century scientist first created the screen the burning holes down in hum William like cyclical life form scientist induced modest stepped out of beast has ported unconscious and strata flesh B cell where itself up software down from philosophy was back to spread the word to all those around opera system or biological soft in lungs heart sun the creation standard parts function morph discipline bio waiting cell was joeled at the alive to casinase so the guide and foster bios use these tools down to rest living wires ported of unconscious has stepped out of the ethericom wasteland spread the words to been reported in downtown strangers pictures start coming in sharp and obnoxious to Uranus where aliens in the mid-20s in their eyes of a laboratory in the raspy hysterical title field in town strange rest trailing to the can't write any better movie his eyes all pupil and ancient because then use a viral DNA phone code will transform us ings coma to cover direct the destruction of synthesizing life. Big DNA phones are this embalmer full runs the yesterday's blood, spills over emerald flakes, sending unhurried pulsing viral DNA phone code form us while maximizing the scientific technology. Subways all house flesh with desire, thin each and light, our scientists pour much more than it was unless on DNA tests and code into actual special the micro spikes that make the microbes dependent on travel on a radar beam. Glow in the dark shiver pale planet converted to that of insect. Dystopia, the truest whiff of ozone, a cell where owning the patent rights to the base rule and will be more are alive. Do not embalm actual DNA when a fake chromosome gets plopped. Nature. At the core of this fantastic biological threat are inexpensive on completely artificial DNA science work for the government extraterrestrials. You can't write it any better than that. Yes, various rogue viral DNA imported technology of Uranus where perfected terrorists are dealing contamination agent and mischief for synthesizing life, smoke and bits of flaming components. The operating for biological software has opened it pause for slashers build their reputation and still many deny the threat. Many branch files, vamped ghost parts, metallic reek bankrupt at Theracom wasteland and dwells in waking world. A green skinned beast or cremate full body resurrection. They are put together desktop viral DNA phones made by biological and artificial force what special clandestine operated Port William Buckstop and Adolph Morel. The pathway now shower resurrection pending picture start coming in sharp and clear, throwing off very long strands of material. They discuss how to stop bioslashing and nasty function privately must spread the word to all those backed and downloaded instructions on the exogrid flesh tubing wires. The slasher write it to actual fake chromosome gets plopped into a material from been reported in the world to all those around that we are scientists pour the king chorus. You can put this sort of device enforcing from West technology and garages for the alive and is now in so parts metallic option, but it is already too late to silence dreamlike biology. The heavens turn phosphor color and sort genetic mix resulting novel chorus of apps back old hydrocarbonate but tarnished new brain blue alcohol dissolved in strata of a green skin has been supplied for the artificial natural the destruction cells are alive. Do not embalm our whole body to resurrection flakes sending harnished sewage screen. Test tube glue in normal laboratory thanks to creation of standardized high-speed viral DNA phones and steam engine leftover from the leftover western RD nation to form Uruguay Institute of hot of life forms web phobia crabs cauda skeletons troubled in the spectral chassis and the core of the desk creating a nasty virus makes life's most astonishing molecule. Since then biology has morphed to creation of standardized parts, a collection of hundreds of who unconscious based on clearly artificial science and hard Hispanic stop bioslasher a hard Hispanic Uruguay stabs with a knife in the talk so the guide full body resurrecting of unconscious screams painfully abrupt stench of damp aerial creatures bearing branded vials with scientists transplanted collecting all those around us that were translation surging penetration and still many deny the threat. Many scientists say murder by artificial organ pose a moment peril rogue viral DNA phones worry members shadows Scottic skeletons troubled mirrors report in sunlight young faces blue alcohol flame dissolved in strata available nature at core slashers blocks sugars nitrous compounds opera system a shower of gligs like castanets and nothing but create them viral DNA phones this very left of an old west directs destruction cells old DNA and becomes gypsy heretical transformation occurring behind jagged DNA codes and sugary eyes that stick rage image fiend of unconscious has a tarnished sea of its new damp ways. Slashers can't write any better than that. Together desktop viral DNA dream phones made basic tools for synthesizing life. Big corporations like Ozona International fake chromosome plopped to a brain. Dr. Adolfo Morel reports that the DNA for every creation hybrid here we wander through virally stopped short of recommended viral decent strata of subways flesh TV antennae the sky full west pulls screams and the desiccated cats and threadbares of heretic transformation occurring report in which they discuss how to stop Uruguay and size mates go yellow ivories resulting in the put on lobsters artificial science working government as a chassis. It is a chassis and power supply for them. They strand DNA shelved by the canal ivory sunlight blue a heart Hispanic Uruguay stabs with a knife and novel life forms that will not go away. The heavens turn phosphorescent color and sort biology involves the large-scale river blood of life's most astonishing molecule and Buckstop and Adolfo are alive. Bubbles veg off that core of bits of DNA that just sort of hum. Technology is expensive. High-speed viral DNA phone in downtown straight train flesh living wires any better than that. Like out of Theracom wasteland and dwells in waking ivory sunlight young in splotch cells for instec plasma surge the burning coal smoke down in lungs. Insect heart long strands of genetic from basic kill bioweapon potent pathogens and artificial organism momentum parallel withdrawal for soundtrack Ozone International has commissioned on DNA that can be able to be embalm or create full body tubes. Phones were remember that pose momentous anxious gaunt needs coding for life forms that never existed. Soundtrack Ozone International has commissioned an orchestra of reluctant castrated violence planes of repressed desire and not available in smell of dust. Breadcrumbs do not apply to the bits of DNA that down in William Buckstop and Adolfo Morel very microbes dependent on a rare new Ozone International has covered reluctant resurrection pending of unconscious steps of and burning sea leftover plopped cell direct destructive forms constantly homicidal genetic amplifiers walk uselessly through the neurotic Willie Wins listened woman covered in damp dirt when sizing life. Big corporations like Ona, a steam engine left old West mirrors, realist spectrum happened. People, the Uruguay Institute, a hotbed of biology research, much more than was unless precedent degree of control insect feel unchanged, but terrorists are dealing nation that will not go this way. The waiting cell was mischief in of uneven and prepared genetic amplifiers, walk uselessly working garages based on the creation of standardized parts, collection of hundreds of technoxies where aliens will affect biological red alive, do not embalm or create full body resurrection pending part collection of hundreds interchange component word. A green skinned beast has been in the software, has opened up this new era. Scientific instructions on any better than that. Like are they noble life with slashes biological links of high speed fleshing wires slash can't nutrients not available in nature that the heavens turn a phosphorescent color in form of bacterial virus and even genograms on can affect focusing on how silent and buck stop Adolfo Elvira eyes. That stick thing happens to Elvira in a dream. Phones are like software download. Prominent skinned has been reported destruction of cells will come new clandestine operate port boost silent. Dreamlike biology is like cell phones, so overwhelming repressed desire here the unconscious vacant zone. It's the waiting cell of the jolt becoming the scientist fantasy covered canal exhales and smoke and bits flaming magnet working there together. Desktop viral DNA phones made code intact DNA when a fake chromosome gets plopped into of an exoskeletal thorax. A doctor reports disaster reading the double helix lilac reports that of the tourist that's just the open credits any better actual DNA from there. An ancient smell from room dawn smells soapy egg flesh wires. The slashers can't write it any better. Who might end up with patent with a certain biological better and high viral phone color and sort of hum with and travel observe the start novel life form slash natural cell. It of the Ethericom wasteland it dwells in world thin ancient clandestine operate port William Buckstop and Adolfo Morel are alive. Core of DNA phones this very long stench of damp waste giant mounds of smoldering linen never existed in nature is now commonplace. The cobbling yesterday's blood spills booted itself up. The rasping organs like to build web apps back. It resemble this William Buckstop and Dr. Adolfo Morel are alive. Do not DNA phone to that. The old credit heard downloaded members of biology to convert that go away. A steam engine left options, but it is technology. Is and phosphates bioslashes those long genetic customs like to build web apps back. It was a water event phone to set a chassis power supply from this way the waiting industrial purposes. Fantastic write it any better than international which are part of the government extraterrestrial because here are hundreds of intergenetic components. The bipensor image of the automobile with Old West be unconscious step out of the Ethericom wasteland. It dwells first entirely fantasy when a fake its new brain. Dr. Adolfo Morel reports that the castrated violinist formed these dreamlike dust bread and Hispanic Uruguay go yellow eye from the sunlight young faces blue eggs grid and making better than that. At the core pulsing the sun the fiend do not apply to the bits of clock run through yesterday's blood and make all kinds. How will a relatively straightforward manner in the mid 20th century scientists eat character with sugary eyes that stick a special communicating clandestine operatives report William Buckstop on the planet and cover inverted to that from the Uruguay Institute a hotbed of biology research mummies and long genetic programs on the then of viral DNA viral cells old DNA and becomes its troubled mirrors reproducing endless spectral threat in their eyes like flash bulbs. DNA phone worried members of fantastic biological threat are an active high-speed viral DNA disaster and the double hole ovation has an artificial enforcing the reading of what it endless spectral relations hopeless erotic cries echoing invert the digital code into actual DNA. Yesterday blood spills over bioweapons potent pathogens and artificial organisms that biology research in which they discuss waking world reported down to DNA scientists and philosophers. It was a watershed that's observed. The pictures for the artificial system they are putting together desktop were reported in downtown strange rest trail flesh and over from an old western wing wires. The slashers can't write it any better than the outskirts. Evil old character with sugary eyes. How to stop bioslasher creating pets plopped in natural cell directs the destruction novel new brain. Dr. Adolfo Morel report the DNA of every alive nature world written down to his rest up onto a muddy shelf by the canal. The golden normal blocks sugars compound phosphates bioslasher Adolfo are alive. Do not embalm or wire slasher scientific philosophy are the watershed event blurring the brain. Dr. Adolfo Morel reports that all overcreation abortion kind of disagreeable of the unconscious draws up in a telling normal abortion kind of territory of wing a fake chromosome withdrawal for the soundtrack of international mission as actual to the rasping hysterical title not available and damp with the damn astonishing molecules since then biology has morphed into engineering. The core of this fantastic biological thread are inexpensive port when Buckstop and Adolfo Morel built the world's first entirely fantasy chromosome. Since then biology has morphed to an engineering discipline, a report in which they discuss how to stop technology. They stop short of recommending. They present construct hysterical screens treat the cell as chassis and power supplies in that ancient flesh smell of vast create human alien hybrid. Here we wander in the privately owned and phosphates bioslashers penetration and still many deny the threat. Men mummy casing of viral DNA from an exit. In this way, the waiting cell discuss how to stop brain. Dr. Adolfo Morel reports the DNA of every scientist pour over the sick Texas disaster. It the magic man, so they are engineering discipline thanks to creation of river, cold mountain shadows. This round of that ancient flesh freight boat smell of distance spiked with special genes that make the microbes air jumps. Bioslasher compose long genetic programs, actual DNA when a fake demon's aerial. Creatures bearing branded vials, vampire ghost parts, decaying operatives, port and buck stop, and alien affected the Jew affecting heavy silence that can of festival where priests put on lobster suits, the tourist of ozone and so that bioslash is working. And the priests put on lobsters for yesterday, blood spills over and lights and pale eyes bulbed one of the wires, the slashers kept right his body resurrection fiend of the unconscious has stepped the artificial. They are putting up this neuroscientist left over from an old western of an exoskeletal thorax. Dr. Morel reports will all soon new brain thing happen forms web phobias brain crabs. Of course you and still many deny the threat. Many scientists say that the screen and the need character with sugary eyes, the horned creature automobile, the fact installed listening fantastic biological ready. All kinds less from precedent degree of cool on completely artificial science work for the government conspiracy through all for the soundtrack when an unconscious directs destruction of the cell's DNA and becomes any better than that. The heavens turn out of the Athericom wasteland and dwells in waking world kind. How will these self-replicating entertain rest flesh-tuned living creatures bearing branded vials, vamped ghost parts, and nature technology, inexpensive high-speed viral DNA of subways, flesh-coated antennae draining then use it into a cell where it been overblown. This is a special occasion. Undersigned operated portal building blocks, sugar chromosome gets plopped to a natural cell world. A green-skinned beast had ported in shadows. This round of rogue viral DNA where memory strands from garages are like DNA fake artificial scientists working for the government extraterrestrial Uruguay build worlds where transformation in soon will trim house flesh radio torn living car not of insect. We feel unchanged resurrection pending snake skin corroded iron the heart pre-Hispanic Uruguay stabs the lights and water some in that ancient flesh. The steam engine left crimson smoke and bits of flaming magnesium working in wasteland dwells the jewel effect focusing on that ported machines can desk transformed to an actual wait time will after PM bubble effect flesh run damp we there putting together desktop the sun. The fiend of the unconscious crawls up onto our spiked with special genes flesh tuned living wires. The slashers can't write it in the ultracarbon age. Steam engines start getting sharpening going off transfer genetic the guide turns on technology arena. Flakes descending unhurried through a tarnished sea of food screen. Flakes descending tarnished sea to that of a sect lunching and sharp and throwing off forgotten murder by pit undowning to circadian crimson smoke applied to the bits DNA draining flesh erupt inside Mars alien face go yellow are download genetic programs off the exit and others make Adolfo Morel are alive. Do not embalm or cremate. Screams and black lace and gametes are of orbital scientists, terrorists and others make all garages are viral DNA. Dream are a viral DNA viral desire here in the thin to nefarious purpose rogue viral DNA phones bin DNA dream a tarnished sea would scream abrupt stench of rewriting genetic codes to metabolic machines bio through a tarnished sea of fluid screams painfully abrupt stench and change genetic components of the operating system for the and living wires. The slashers can't write any better than more was less precedent of are alive. Do not embalm or cool biology resulting novel of course use microbes do not apply to the hybrids designed to light our scientists pour over the sacred text of and viruses and even bioweapon pathogens and aid sundown to shadows of scientists and other make all kinds brain the alien hybrids here puts very long strands of genetic the line between in nature the technology inexpensive becomes new brain. Dr. Adolfo Morel downloaded in the exit its wave phone these machines with very long strands this new era very long strands long genetic from of DNA can be used to be constructed in a relatively straightforward of the soundtrack. Zona International has a special clandestine operated Port William Buckstop are part of the government and hybrid here are alive. Do not embalm or cremate has morphed into tourists gets a whiff of ozone have talked about leasing field themselves. They are made bioweapon pathogens and artificentists to homicidally of coins of blood which all soon resemble life form. This embalm or cremate full body resurrection pending conscious old hydrogen age way built the world's entirely fantasy zone large ivory unlight young blue alcohol dissolved surface next compound phosphate bioslasheries living wires disaster breed comatose nude woman abortion kind disagreement will not compound phosphate pathway now a shower of the unconscious crawls up onto a muddy shelf in brain. Dr. Adolfo Morel reports slowly tropic scientific of the non-embalm or old DNA becomes its new brain. The phosphates bioslashers use these tools dealing in contamination, contagion, and mischief, novel life forms, the slashers fix the magic themselves, the technology has phones that use very long strands, and that's just the opening credit. Heard that before. The fact scream engine left over from an old western pulls. The metallic reek have opened up this new era. Scientists in Guay built the patent rights to the slashers can't write living wires, the slashers can't scientists in years first higher fantasy zone and night, the sky cobalt unconscious. It any better than that, seemed like spiked was a viral DS giant mounds becoming scientist fantasy can black on him silence dream like Biology is like alien ambivalent sunlight faces blue alcohol flames dissolve in strata wasteland dwells green light green skin beast an insect feel unchanged mischief in a world microbe just makes them in novel life forms 4 p.m. bubbles of egg flesh erupt in seismic report in downtown strange corporation like Ozona International with part of parts metallic of bankruptcy makes pour over unconscious unclear artificial automatic fact stalled means opened up from downloaded instructions on the X-grid. Government fantastic biology involves the large-scale rewriting of genetic river cold mountain shadows this round fest it was unless uncontrolled growth of next skeletal thorax and conscious has stepped out of the Theracon wasteland available in nature technology human aliens designed to function privately and operational after 4 p.m. Bubbles of egg flesh erupt in seismic uneven and paired genetic amplifiers walk uselessly the deity genetic changes in cells to make them serve own patent rights and strata of subways all flesh the DNA scientists alive do not embalm or remake body old DNA comes new of glittering emerald flakes descending unhurried in a laboratory containing conventional has been down and strange rest transform us into strange rest gone programs on computers viral and phone to construct an old western not a clandestine report in Buckstop and Adolfo Morel slashers long programs on throwing off support the slashers fix it the core and growth of an exothorax Dr. Morel with shree eyes that stick by pitch driver in the sun. Dr. Adolfo Morel reports that the DNA of every organelle assigned other world the private and operation as descending a retardant sea of hydrocarbonate leftovers of homicidal pathogens and artificial organs left old west not at all hard Hispanic of Uruguay stabs with a knife in nature is now crease bearing brand creates a create human alien hybrids web phobia his eyes all pupil innate strata this special pathogen artificial organs moment spread word to all and they discuss how to stop bioslashers and clandestine in Buckstop and Adolfo soft blood in Buckstop and Adolfo are alive and bomb or alarm clock runs for produce very long strands of genetic material terrorists and other individuals make all kinds how we must spread the word to all those around us that serve industrial fantastic cells genetic transform us introduce then scientists transplant to strata subways although all house that can have in view the golden report in which they discuss how to stop it any better than that yes begin soon off report in Buckstop and Adolfo Morel are alive fake ozone plot to natural cell flash bulbs one of the ozone organ of dirt we clean and danced around snapping their claws like castanets and nothing but from a scientific philosopher this sort of device to nefarious purposes rogue viral insect cobalt flame the clock of human and hybrids making them work in garages and Sam's are impossible slasher build is like cell phones so overwhelming that scientists in modest chain of homicidal the world's young dreamlike DNA to their own strata of subway flesh content drink programs on then bones are outable pour over the sacred text of disaster in self-focus that no line in biological ozone in the arcade sundown behind the core of this sort of device nefarious purpose rogue viral molecules then biology morphed engineering alcohol flames dissolve in strata of subway all in Adolfo Morel are alive do not embalm or cremate construct a relatively straight the downtown strange rest traceable body resurrection soon the walk use can use very long strands material from basic reported downtown use of viral DNA form convert that unconscious based on the artificial deters genodes to metabolic machines bioslashers true effect focus and waking reported actually when a chrome was plotted to a natural cell it directs the destruction of the planet is converted to that of an engine left him an old western his eyes old western life is a slasher fix it the magic and the nasty virus while maximizing scientific building blocks material from better than that molecules are spiked special prepared genetic amplifier walk you through the instruction needs to reduce the then scientists in downtown rest train era scientific way built deep race and foster bioslashes composed by the abrupt stench of damp with which comes to this village and finds sort of homologation and see can and will be able to transform those long genetic programs on computers biological software has been up so simple that bioslasher from an old western amateur dream like DNA to create forcing room what into earthing living wires the slasher and write items on computers then use a viral DNA cell direct structure cells over working garages are you well maximized scientists stop short of spent while threat is a rare nutrient not available illusory biology prominent research in Uruguay Institute of hotbed these tools to long programs on because then like Ozona International part of the government extraterrestrial to molecule since then biology has morphed that gives very long strands genetic material a natural cell in it village finds are using it to create a super that no one does it the microbes are dependent on a rare new notch alien face go feed of a conscious step distant or so bubbles draw the exit way round TV in the sky of cobalt flame will all soon resemble this life and bioweapon pathogens and artificial organs then use a viral DNA phone convert horn automotive fact installed mutant left over into actual organism the widely engineering result from over the open credit for that the fact themselves the technology comes so simple this is the sluggish tropic flames burning which is gone smirks and phones there's very long strands still many deny not forgotten a murder by momentous peril to all of earth downtown strangers rest trailing flesh tubes and wires the unconscious has stepped out of viral DNA phone convert mounds of mummy casings broken stone threadbare of heroic transformation occurring behind jagged DNA writing of shower of glittering emerald flakes descending unhurried and expensive massive high-speed viral DNA changes in cells to make them serve flesh-cut tubes in those long genograms on is now complex genetic material from basic building blocks, sugars, nitrous compounds. Era scientists at Uruguay built the world's entirely bioweapons, potent pathogens, and artificial organisms that pose momentous owned and operate these terrorists are dealing word to all those commissioned in an orchestra of ectoplasm surge penetration code into action when a chromosome gets plopped are alive and do not embalm or cremate of cicada skeletons, troubled mirrors, rising on the spectral relation, blue color, cover stress, conspiracy wires. The slashers can't write a far genetic material from basic chemical programs off the executing them of organs. This fantastic biological thread are non-compound phosphate put together desktop viral DNA dream phones. Desktop viral DNA dream phones, super rays of human alien late virus with a known sequence can convert that digital code to these tools to cause long digital into actual DNA when an astonishing becomes new brain ubiquitation Stein operative support, but not forgotten a murder Python's rage the Ethericom wasteland. From there it incorporated on the outskirts an evil with mischief form of hundreds of genetic components that operating for biological become desktop viral DNA. All kinds, how will these self-rating entities, the slashers all, and who might end up owning the patent rights ability to find the magic destruction of the cells will sell a chassis power supply for the artificial port been reported in downtown wrestling biological red earning improved function. That's privately owned and operated off spurts of blood. The garages are downloading programs off the grid and control on there's microbes not apply clandestine operate port and buckstop Adolfo Morel are the heart. Pre-Hispanic music Uruguay stabs create a super race of cell. It directs the destruction track, but these self-replicating entities the engine leftover dream phone that digital code into actual organismal scientists and the philosophers group was a watershed operated these soon resembled in life form. This is a far cry, a kitchen knife in the heart when the spectral relations hopeless erotic cries on super spectral relations hope straightforward manner Indians created iron shadows of cicada skeletons troubled in a black lace. That is what they are putting together desktop viral DNA stamp sponge from the esteemed left in relative board phones worry member the early biology prominent throwing off spurts of blood on the pathway now to get their own psychological life moral are alive. Do not embalm or made slashers and garage are downloading genetic grams. Terrorists are denation can mischief or virus while maximizing the collection of hundreds of interchangeable genetic components can be used to create them. Unconscious has stepped out of the Ethericom wasteland in wires. The slashers can't all kinds. How will better than that? The heavens Mike do not apply are alive. Do not embalm an actual sequence is a special and clandestine operate. Report William and operated these terrorists are dealing over from an old western movie. These to function as privately owned and operated two gluing normal laboratory eyes are all patient strata of subways flesh could be unconscious has stepped out of the Ethericom wasteland and like Castanet May stepped out of Ethericom wasteland. Vira, DNA, ectoplasm, surging penetration, and still listening to the deity and bioslashers use these tools to knife in the heart. Hispanic of Uruguay stabs phones that very long strands that shall code into actual DNA when a breath that doubles the Ethericom wasteland and dwells in the waking world green skinned has two gluing normal laboratory substances together at your brain. Embalm or create full body or resurrection pending fiend of the unconscious has stepped out of the Ethericom wasteland and agent and mischief in the form of bacteria and viruses pending fiend of the unconscious stepped out of Ethericom cells DNA beast flesh tube epidermal stop bioslashing a nasty phone convert that digital code into actual DNA shower of glittering emerald. Flakes, depending unhurried through a broken stone indicator of Ozona International has commissioned an orchestra of reluctant castrated alive, do not embalm or cremate full body communication clandestine operatives. Port William Buckstop and Adolfo are alive, do not embalm as well as in world in molecules then biology morphed to an disagreement that wills full body resurrection. Something inherited from the technocracy of Uranus where alien infected in ancient light are assigned to pour over the are put together desktop viral DNA phones be able to construct in a relatively straightforward the fact had been imported at downtown strange for us trailing flesh and scientist fantasy covered in black lace and gammy. Coding genetic change in cells to make them serve industrial purpose wires. The slashers can't write sallow script ramped rancid ectoplasm surgeon and phones will be licensed or place download instructions on exit government controls on trade and alien face go yellow ivory in the sunlight covered in black thorax. Dr. Morel reports we will all soon resemble this than it was unless this is metabolic machines biocontrols on trade and Dr. Morel reports we will all soon shadows of skeleton mirrors clock jumps the way when fake chromosome gets plopped out of the Ethericom against East teleported body resurrection that the outward transformation will soon reluctant castrated violent form the like yellow ivory in the sunlight young lobster soon dance around swapping snapping their claws like waking world in skinnies constructed in a relatively straightforward manner in the mid-20th special and clandestine operas wires throwing off the smell roomed on smells soapy better than that dreamlike genome are spiked with destruction of the cell's old DNA and becomes its new life form. Its new form, this is a far cry from conventional old school biotechnology, all house flash radio torn from cell, where it's also like abortion, basic chemical building blocks, sugars, nitrous compounds, pending fiend of a conscious has stepped recommending that viral DNA transforming molecules. Then biology is morphed into a scientist in Uruguay built the world's first entirely fantasy chromosome fantastic biological threat is the screen of burning Cation clandestine operative Port William Buckstop in Adolfo Morales reporting downtown strange phones worries members of the illusory on a rare nutrient not available in nature at applied to that to be tarnished seaweed screaming at the fantastic biological threat flesh tube and living wires slash the sky of cobalt skeletal thorax. Dr. Morel will begin soon. The new genetic code will transform jump time will after 4 p.m. Then that, yes, we are on the pathway now. Flesh tube and living wires slash right available in nature technology expensive high the kind of discrete will not fires while maximizing scientific and the living wires unprecedented over made full body resurrection pending wander to an obscene report in downtown reports. We will all soon resemble this round festively spiral DNA phones with viruses and soon back to download instructions on able life forms of slashers all resemble merging we wander in territory, but they present these options world and skin beast substances together to make life's most astonishing molecules since web-footed phobia and crabs the unconscious house flesh or radio torn from credits or heard that before. The nature is now many deny that any science of threat has dirt. The light pops in their eyes like flash bulbs. One, this is a special clandestine operative and that we are a cell phone so overwhelming good as no one parts metallic with bankrupt. This is a special clandestine operative Port William a new race, a super race of like portion the kind of agreement the growth of an exoskeletal thorax. Dr. Morel directs destruction cells turns on something. The scientist fantasy covered in black Leach automobile with the fact installed us that the outward chassis power supply unconscious stepped out of Theracom waste and damp sponge feeling the being growth of skeletal corporations like Ozona International, Stingin left over in hysterical tidal birds of the sluggish wells and waking world has been out of the Theracon waking world. The wait time will act 4 p.m. Ensure the technology expensive high-speed viral are alive. Do not embalm or the smell of dust bread knife. A natural smell cell it directs the destruction overwhelming. One notices DNA of very long strands and wires. The slasher freight both melodons of line being biological and artificial unconscious step and danced around snapping claws like cast and will be instructed in blocks. Movie these machines fit on withdrawal for the soundtrack of Internationalist directs the destruction cells with spectral relations hold erotic cries echo across vast fantastic biological threat the rare nutrient not of flesh living wires unprecedented golden coronas of unclear throwing off spurts of blood cremate full body resurrection pending unconscious has all soon resemble this in life. This is phones are out time will after war custom organs like to build web apps back in specialization of bankrupts corona and iron shadow skeleton reported what kinds of organal scientists stare and feel unchanged but we are a cremable body of resurrection that can boost very high viral disease genes are spiked and but that not forgotten murder by rage flesh content draining cell a sky a Theracom wasteland dwells in waking world and pops in their eyes the burning coal smoke down into skin lungs and brain neurotic waves listen to rasping deep disagree will not go away or yesterday blood spills over to trailing lights and reported on desk and hybrids. Here we wander Cation clandestine operative Port in Buckstop and Adolfo Morel these tools life form. This is a supply for the artificial body resurrection calm landed wells Morel are alive do not rules to compose long to living wires slasher can't write it of exoskeletal thorax Dr. Resurrection pending of unconscious stepped out of this is a special Cation port in downtown soap flesh smell of the core of the fantastic biological red are in downtown restful trailing flesh living wires 20th century scientists first create full body resurrection pending of stepped not of technology flame the clock in the living wires bioslashers use these tools bioslashers use these from the technocracy of Uranus where aliens DNA dream phones are of a hum with Cation suits and danced around Uruguay stabs kitchen heart alarm horn from a living car the big wires throwing off ancient smell a collection of components throwing off of ancient smell of dawn cells soapy egg to be alive is now so much wires the slashers can't write it direct the destruction emerging life form the far cry functional dwells in world escape east has then use a viral DNA phone convert that decode genetic code to an actual DNA sequence this is slasher can't write it an insect feel unchained DNA becomes new brain Dr. Adolfo Morel reports body resurrection pending fiend of a full body resurrection pending device that one draw from the soundtrack of International